So if you've developed a newfound passion for cycling during the isolation period, or you're an avid cyclist from way back, the following routine might help you to manage your body effectively. So we know from the repetitive nature of cycling, there are certain areas of the body that can have increased stress or pressure on them. So if we imagine that I'm getting down into a hunched position on my bike, I'm putting more pressure through my knees because I'm in that knee bent position. So the front of my knees can cop it. Your ITBs, which is a thick tendon or band of tissue that runs up the side of your thigh to your hip, that can become tight, or the muscles that are attaching to it can become tight. If we think about the front of the hips can be in a compressed position, so that can make them quite sore. The hip flexors likewise can become tight because they're in a shortened position. If we go around the back, my glutes are in a lengthened position, so that can render them to be weak and not function effectively. And then if we think about our back being in that slouched position, the big strap muscles that run up the spine can become fatigued, stressed, and can produce some pain. So in designing a program, we want to think about exercises that are going to reverse those positions or strengthen your body against those positions. So the foam roller is an excellent way to iron out some of those kinks in the outer thigh, the muscles that attach into the ITB, to take some tension out of that area after your intense cycling session. So if we get down onto the foam roller, we roll down to find that really tender, tight spot, hold that point till it feels like it eases off, move to the next spot. Okay. Once you've attacked about 3 or 4 areas, you spent 4 minutes, you can start to do a little bit of knee bending and straightening across that foam roller. Okay. And if you've done about 10 to 12 reps here, then we can get down onto our side and do a nice quad stretch, but to bias that outside of the thigh. We want to pull heel to bum, tuck our tail under, our tail between our legs, bring our bottom foot onto the top of the knee and push down to the floor. Now, that should isolate the stretch into that outer thigh. Hold that for 30 seconds. Once the stretch eases off, take it a little bit further. Hip flexor stretch with a tuck and a reach to the roof is a really good way to open up the front of the hip, stretch out those hip flexors that have been in a shortened position during your cycling. So side on view, when you get onto one knee, I'm going to tuck my pelvis, so get into that position there. You should feel a nice stretch in the front of the hip. And then I'm going to add on a reach to the roof and perform 6 to 8 reaches. As you reach up, you should feel more intense stretch in the front of the hip. So the single leg hip thruster here is a good way to strengthen your lower glute muscles, so the ones that are on constant stretch during the cycling motion, they tend to switch off and become a bit weaker. So if you grab a bench or a couch or a table, we're going to get our upper back, mid-back onto the bench. Okay, we're going to take all the weight onto one leg, the other leg's going to lift. I'm going to drop down, tuck my pelvis under, and then push my heel down into the floor to extend up. Now, the point of most resistance should be that lower glute. That's where you're getting your work from. So drop, keep the tuck, lift. Pushing the heel straight down, you should feel that lower glute. See if you can perform 15 or 20 reps. If you can, that's fairly good endurance. Really good functional exercise to get your glutes strong for cycling. So all against the wall, standing on my left leg. Okay, and push my right knee into the ball. I'm going to assume a cycling position, so I'm bent over, sticking my bum out. And with this right knee, I'm going to pull forward on the ball, keeping pressure into the ball at all times, and back. I'm stabilising through this left glute. Perform sets of endurance here, so you want to be up around 20 to 30 reps while holding in this position, feeling in your glute. So to improve your thoracic mobility, stand side onto the wall. I'm going to reach my right arm into an arc, left arm forward, reach. Try and flatten your shoulders onto the wall, and then back.